Ladies and gentlemen, WrestleMania 42 is in the books. And wow, talk about a polarizing, and I mean absolutely polarizing weekend of action. We've had fans call it the drizzling shits. We had people call it a great weekend of wrestling and entertainment and everything in between. So, in this video, I'm going to talk about both night one and night two, my personal thoughts on the overall thing. I'm not going to get in the weeds too much about each match, I'll touch on it, but this is more so what my feeling is coming out of the whole weekend of pro wrestling Super Bowl. Before we get into it, as always, like, subscribe, means the world to me. Follow me at all socials as Heartfelt. And without further ado, let's talk about WrestleMania 42. So before we even get to things, let's talk about the lead up to WrestleMania. And there's not much to say here. I think you can look online, scroll back a couple weeks. It's the build up to WrestleMania was universally like panned as convoluted, doesn't make sense. Things that should be getting more attention aren't, and things that should not be getting any attention are getting all of the attention, whether it's storylines or celebrities. We had I'm trying to remember if anyone that is a weekly watcher, well, someone that watches all the shows. I don't think a single one of them like the whole Pat McAfee thing leading into Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. I saw people online talking about, oh, I don't watch the product, but being Pat being there is going to get me to tune in, which that's their goal, especially TKO's boss Ari, whatever the fuck his name is. But it was like our the weekly ones, the ones that will spend the money on merch and not continuously, not just one time. We're like, what the hell is this? You had the WWE Women's Championship feud between Jade and Rhea be absolutely abysmal, and that was getting minutes upon minutes of promos and matches, while in my opinion, the hotter feud, the World Women's title between Vaquer and Morgan, was getting, I think one week it got 40 seconds to a minute. And those little interactions they had were some of the best parts of Monday Night Raw. And so this build, you'll see it from other creators all around. It just, it left not high expectations for this WrestleMania. And it got to a point where if people said, oh, I'm just not going to tune in, you know what? I would not even blame them. But with all that, let's go ahead and get into the actual nights. Obviously, start with night one. Overall, night one, I think it just wasn't good at all. The main issue that I had and a lot of people had was that there were so many ads. Like there was more, I think more ad time for everyone who was watching at home than there was match time. And it's like, what are you doing? I get there's going to be ads. In this new era, Q Triple H, in this new era is going to be ads. There's going to be ads on everything. Every match is sponsored by somebody else. The ring is covering ads. I get it. It is what it is. I can deal with that. But the fact that basically between every match, it felt like we had 15, 20 minutes of sponsorships, ads, and just nonsense. I know people who watched it on Netflix were getting the Hulk Hogan, basically getting the documentary in ad form throughout the whole thing. And those of us that are watching ESPN on States, if you weren't smart enough to use a VPN like I forgot to, we're getting the WWE 2K26 video game a lot, and then just random reasons why we should keep ESPN after this. And again, it's ads. I know the business. I know how TKO is going to operate. Just look at UFC. Everything is ads, ads, ads. It wouldn't be so bad if the matches were good enough to justify all that, or hell, long enough to justify all that. All right, I'm going to read to you the match times for night one. The Usos and LA Knight versus Vision and Aisha Speed, 7 minutes and 10 seconds. According to Wikipedia, 7 minutes and 10 seconds for a 6-man tag featuring 3 of your hottest superstars and one of the biggest stars in the world, Aisha Speed. Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre, their unsanctioned match, it got 14 minutes. You know what? Not bad. A 4-way tag team match for the women's tag team titles. 4-way. That's 8 competitors. It got 8 minutes and 35 seconds. Becky Lynch and AJ Lee, a blow off, grudge feud featuring 2 future Hall of Famers and 2 of the biggest women to come out of WWE. 8 minutes, 15 seconds. Gunther versus Seth Rollins got 17 minutes, 50 seconds. To me, even that was short. That was pushing an all-time Mania match, but we'll get into that. Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vaquera, like I said, a angry blood feud over the title, over, disrespect, all of that. 6 minutes, 50 seconds. And Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton with Pat in there, with Jelly Roll in there. All of that. It got 22 minutes, 45 seconds. Oh, that sounds like a lot. Not for this. Not for a Mania Night 1 main event. For this feud that's been bloody for months and months leading to it. It got 22 minutes. It probably will extend to about 30-something if you count the entrances. But no. This whole night was just short matches, a lot of ads. And it took me out of the feel of WrestleMania. It took me out of feeling like, oh, this is the spectacle. This is the granddaddy of them all, the showcase of the Immortals. It felt like just another PLE. Because you'll get other PLEs, you'll get a bunch of ads, quick match, or bunch of ads, all that kind of stuff. And for Saturday night's main event, for a B tier pay-per-view, I really don't care. It is what it is. But WrestleMania is supposed to be different. And besides the stage and I don't know, all the celebrity involvement of ISHO Speed, Pat, and Jelly Roll, and then that made it. I can't even say the main event felt different because it was the start of something, not the culmination of a blood feud. Again, I'll get to that, but night 1 did not feel like WrestleMania. Night 1 felt like it could have been like a standard September or like June, like some random pay per view. Oh, I'm sorry, PLE. I don't know, man. I hate to be all negative, and there's people saying, "Oh, it was great. It was great. I was there. And it was great." And you gotta realize something. If you're at the event, it's gonna be infinitely better because you're there. You're getting the reaction of people around you, all cheering the same thing, all booing the same thing, and you're in the moment. You're swept up. So to say that, oh, because I was there, you all are wrong, that your experience sucks, is stupid and invalid. You weren't hit with, again, for international people or those with VPNs, you weren't hit with Hulk Hogan all the time. For us watching on ESPN Unlimited proper, you weren't hit with WWE 2K the whole time, at least not to my knowledge. So the viewing experience at home was hot garbage. And maybe that was their plan. It would have been better if you were there, draw ticket sales. That could have been a Grandmaster plan. I don't know. But let's dive into the matches finally. The Usos, Jimmy and Jay, and LA Knight beat Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and ISHO Speed in a 6-man tag. Again, this was a big old nothing. 7 minutes. ISHO Speed was prominently featured. LA Knight was kind of the main guy for the other team. Jay had some moves, but to be honest, him and Jimmy weren't really needed. I feel like I know Theory took the pin, but other than that, it was like, this was a Raw match masquerading as a WrestleMania opener. And the only reason why it opened is because it was ISHO Speed, which I get, big star, whatever. But 7 minutes to show off, you're one of your best tag teams ever, a mega over guy, LA Knight, a viral media star in Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and again, one of the biggest stars in the world, ISHO Speed, who's uber athletic. That's his gimmick. He's funny and he's athletic. He could have done a lot more in this match. They all could have done a lot more in this match. But to only give him 7 minutes just so you can cram 20 minutes of ads into the first hour of ESPN2 is stupid. They didn't even bring up the fact that ISHO Speed is technically still cursed from Danhausen, which could have played into this either before or after or hell during it. So to me, this match gives a thumbs down. Not because anything was like offensively bad. Even the post-match stuff with ISHO Speed jumping from the turnbuckle onto Logan Paul, put him through the announce table. Great moment. They got their viral moment. But to sit there and take only 7 minutes for something like this that could have used another 5 minutes, to me, it's a thumbs down. And the sad part is, that was just a primer for what the rest of the night is going to feel. So again, Usos, LA Knight versus ISHO Speed division. thumbs down for me. Where they go? Where they go after this? I don't really care. I honestly don't care what happens to any of these guys. Aisha Speed goes and does his own thing. The Usos and Vision probably going to continue to feud. LA Knight is just going to go doing whatever LA Knight does. I don't know. There's nothing here to grasp on and say, oh, this could continue this way or this can go this way. No, this was just a whole lot of nothing. Jacob Fatu beat Drew McIntyre in a unsanctioned match that ran 14 minutes. This match, I'm gonna start off by saying it. The match overall gets a very, I'll say thumbs in the middle. I'm not even gonna give it thumbs up. Thumbs in the middle, because if it was just billed as a no disqualification match, it would have been fine. I've been good. It might get thumbs up. But this is billed as an unsanctioned match, which if you're unfamiliar with, unsanctioned matches are in kayfabe or in wrestling storyline matches that are so bad natured, so blood feuded that the WWE is basically saying, okay, y'all can fight, do whatever. We are wiping our hands of this. We're not responsible for any injuries. Whatever may happen is on you guys. That's what an unsanctioned match is. And you would hear that. You would see Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre, two people that have no problem going to extreme. Two people have no problem with blood, weapons, all that stuff. He was like, oh, this is going to be a banger. This is going to be bloody. It is a bad blood in the air. This is going to just be ruthless. And then you remind yourself that this will be featured on ESPN2 proper. And if you're like me, expectations came down, and rightfully so. Now, like I said, don't get me wrong. It's a thumbs in the middle because the match itself was actually really decent for a no disqualification match. It had weapon spots, it had table spots, it had a little bit of brutality. But for the expectation that was set there with the unsanctioned, with these two that can go in a regular match and a hardcore match, I can't give it a thumbs up. And this is all like ESPN's fault. To me, had this been on the rest of the card away from ESPN2, it would have got more brutal. But I guess they were trying to sell last minute subscriptions to ESPN or Netflix or whatever they wanted, and didn't stick the landing for the hardcore fans like me. Casuals, maybe, but where did they go from here? I don't know. I hope Jacob turns this into a chase for the title again, because he was flirting with the WWE title picture, and had they gone the way it should have in the Fatal 4-Way, he probably would have been in the championship match later this evening. But I don't know where he does. Hopefully, again, he challenged for a title. Hopefully, he does something. As far as Drew, it's rumored but widely known he's going to go film a movie. So of course he eats the loss. He goes away for a bit, and he comes back and finds someone else to beat the shit out of and talk about, because that's what Drew does. He shows up, talks shit, and gets screwed. Sorry. We have the Fatal 4-Way tag title match for the women. And this was, the result was the way it was for the pop. And I'm not saying it yet, because let me just get through this. The champions coming in were the Irresistible Forces, Nia Jax / Legend. They're taking on Charlotte, Flair, Alexa Bliss, Bayley, Lyra. And originally scheduled was the Bella Twins, only for Nikki to come out on a crutch and say, hey, I'm not medically cleared to wrestle, but I called an old friend and she's going to take my spot. Enter Paige, who came out to a thunderous ovation. If you're not familiar with Paige, I advise you go look her up on like WWE YouTube. She was a really good wrestler for them about, what did they say, 7 years to a decade or so ago. Famously helped usher in women in NXT in 2013, 2014, and then came up to the main roster and won the then Divas title, now WWE Women's title, on her first night on the roster right after WrestleMania 31. It was, again, great pop. Happy she's back. Happy she's healthy, because she did have, it was either neck or shoulder. I want to say it was neck issues that forced her for a pre-retirement. We're not going to talk about Saraya and AEW, whatever. You knew once she came out, it was wraps. They were going to throw the title on her, and they did. And for this match, I'm going to give it a thumbs down, not because the not because of Paige at all. I'm a huge fan of Paige. Sucks what happened to Nikki, but Paige coming back winning. I don't hate it. It's the fact that they got 8.5 minutes to showcase 9 women, if you count Nikki, who's on the sidelines. The fact that we got really nothing from Nia almost. We got absolutely nothing from Bailey, who I feel bad. Um, Lyra did some stuff. Alexa, Charlotte, Lash was. It's just trying to cram all that 8.5 minutes is not what WrestleMania is about. This, if you want to do that on SmackDown, is perfectly fine. But doing this on WrestleMania feels off. Again, theme of the night. And I feel bad for Lyra and Bailey. I had them winning because I thought it was just gonna be a standard old fatal 4-way, and this would have been time to put the titles on them, and then do Charlotte and Alexa feuding with each other. I feel bad for Bailey. I assume she's happy where she's at. She's still a legend, Hall of Famer. And as far as Bailey goes, I know you're a legend in WWE. You're a future Hall of Famer, no doubt. But your best friend's kind of killing it over in AEW. If you want to go join her and do some cool stuff, it would be dope to see from a fan's perspective. I'm just saying, do you, but just throwing it out there. But now we have a tag team champions of Brie, Bella, and Paige. And where they go from here, I don't know. I really hope Charlotte and Alexa break up. That SmackDown's division needs some new fresh faces at the top, especially the way they're booking things. The Irresistible Forces continue to be a team. That's their best spot at this point. Same thing, Bailey and Lyra. Congrats to Brie and Paige. Thumbs down just because they were rushed. For 9 women trying to split 8 minutes is never going to work. And it didn't here. Becky Lynch beat AJ Lee to recapture the women's IC title. 8 minutes, middle. I'll go thumbs middle. For what they had, they told a good story, but they could use 5 more minutes. For this feud, this like heated rivalry that has been going on since September of last year, WrestlePalooza, whatever that shit was. The fact that their Elimination Chamber match got more time than the blow off, it's a misstep. It really is. And these two deserve better. As far as what's next, AJ Lee's probably going away for a bit because she is a part-timer and she kind of like did her job, ran a course. Becky, I hope it would be fun if Becky does like an open challenge on the Raw Wrestlemania, and then what's it called? Just like somebody from NXT get like, hell, call up JC Jane and the Fatal Influence. Call them up. She's done in NXT. Have her win the IC title night 1. That'd be dope. But as far as Becky, back to feuding with others, elevate new stars. Not much else to say about this. They hit the notes. But they could have been given a longer play sheet, if that makes sense. Gunther, Seth Rollins. It's a thumbs up, but it was like 5-10 more minutes, and this would have been remembered forever. They were balling, and before this, the crowd really only got hyped for Paige's return. But this, they had the crowd hype, going lively. They were just balling out there. It was, a fantastic match. And then here comes Braun Breaker to spear the absolute shit out of Seth Rollins, and which led to Gunther taking advantage, making Seth pass out for 1, 2, 3 in just under 18 minutes. Thumbs up. It was great. It was definitely the best thing on programming up to this point. It blew everything before this out of the water. And my biggest thing is that they were so close to a classic, a WrestleMania classic. Like, this is good, but it would have been remembered had they given just 5 more minutes. That's all we want, 5 more minutes. This one I would give 10 more. Let them go half hour. They can. When 2 of the best of their generation go at it, you get a banger. Who knew? And it's funny because this match had the absolute least amount of build. They were thrown together, 2 weeks ago? I was like, all right, y'all fight. And they're like, all right. And afterwards, Braun came back, sprinting down the giant-ass WrestleMania ramp, took out Seth with a weak-ass spear. And as far as this, Gunther, I am not sure where Gunther goes from here. There's rumors that he wants like Brock at SummerSlam. We'll talk about that a little later why that might not happen. But as far as like Seth and Braun are going to feud, I will love a. I don't know how the PLE schedule works, but if they can sort of like do a trilogy that culminates at SummerSlam, that would be dope. But yeah, this match is a thumbs up, and it was so close. We were teased so much about a classic, but either way, thumbs up. It was the chef's kiss match at night so far. Next, we have Liv Morgan beating Stephanie Valkyrie for the Women's World Championship in 6 minutes and 50 seconds. And I want to give it a thumbs up, but I can't. I want to give it a thumbs middle, but I can't. I'm going to give it a thumbs down because they weren't allowed to do shit. They were not allowed to do shit. In 7 minutes, they had to rush a devil's kiss, rush their finishers, rush the interference by Judgment Day in 7 minutes. We had ad breaks longer than that, and they had to tell a heated story between two people who was on site. The build up to this match was on site between those two. As soon as they saw each other, blah blah blah, me, and they told that in 7 minutes. I don't get it. I really don't get it. But you know, gotta promote that shit. Gotta promote those ads. Gotta promote that goddamn pizza or Wingstop, where the fuck it was during this. But yeah, thumbs down. Not for the performers. They worked their ass off for what they had. Liv Morgan and Stephanie Valkyrie are two fantastic workers. But for what they had, they couldn't do anything. And even with the interference in the match and the win, it was just, ugh. You couldn't give this 12 minutes. 12. You couldn't find 6 more minutes out there just to give this match a chance to breathe a little. It was boom, move, boom, move, boom, move. Oh, we're done? Okay, cool. Run Hulk Hogan. So yeah, this match is a thumbs down for me. As far as afterwards, I wouldn't mind a rematch with proper time. They could easily run this back as Stephanie looks to get the title back. So yeah, there's not much else to say. Thumbs down. Shame on you, WWE, for only giving us less than 7 minutes. All right, then we come to the main event of WrestleMania Night 1 when Cody Rhodes defeated Randy Orton to retain his WWE title. I don't properly know how to rate this. Actually, I do know how to rate this. This match was a thumbs up in itself. Encapsulated in itself, this match was a thumbs up. How we got here was two thumbs and 10 toes down ass. It was a shitty build, and I think I'm not the only one. Not a lot of us had any high hopes for this. And those hopes weren't alleviated or made better when the first one out for your night 1 main event, who got his whole own ass interest in everything, was Pat McAfee. And I like Pat. I like his show. But man, did he feel like what's the phrase, sticking out like a sore thumb in this whole feud. And he got his own interest in all that. And then Randy Orton came out, and Cody had a cool entrance, like chronicling his WWE career. Weird. I think they missed like a couple years there after Stardust before he returned at 38. I guess he just took a nap or something. But yeah, the entrances were cool, and then Pat interferes beginning. But I can't believe I'm saying this. Thank God for a Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll comes out, puts Pat through a table. That table just got destroyed. Like, go back and look at the match. That table got destroyed. And we were able to have a one-on-one proper match for the title. And what we got after that was actually really, really good. It was blood, near falls, technical wrestling. We had like the tease of a double turn. And I say tease because we'll talk about the ending. But there was times where Cody was doing like some bad guy heelish tactics, and Randy Orton was playing from behind. And the crowd, I think, helped the feel of a double turn because they were booing the shit out Cody and cheering Randy, whatever he did. And so, yeah, if it was an audible in the ring, kudos to them. If not, then smart booking. Cody played into that. It was low blows. It was thumb to the eyes. It was all that kind of stuff. Cody played the heel in this match. But the match broke down late when after the thumb to the eye from Cody to Randy, he was feeling around. I guess he saw like he felt body, saw blonde hair, and he gave an RKO to not Cody, but referee Charles Robinson. Shout out to the GOAT. And from there, Randy was able to, after some shenanigans, drop Cody, and down comes the ramp. Pat McAfee, after being taken out by Jelly Roll, stretchered up the ramp, comes back with a referee shirt and a neck brace. Counts to 1, 2, 2 count. Now, to me, kind of a little slow. I don't know what that was about. I think it was a bunch of nothing. I think Pat was probably told to count slow. People were reading, oh, he turned his back on Randy. I don't think so. I think he just counted slow to sell the moment. But after that, Orton, I guess, was frustrated at Pat's counting and hit RKO on him. To which Cody took advantage, hit Crossroads for the 1, 2, 3, and to retain. Again, the match is a thumbs up for me. It was a solid main event match. It's just soured by how we got here, but the match itself was pretty good. But after the match is what the talking point is. Randy got mad at Cody, took the title, hit him with it, and then while Cody was down like on all fours, Randy Orton brought back the punt and kicked Cody right in the face, flush, clean. That would have been a 40-yard field goal in the NFL. And yeah, Randy Orton stood tall to close the night, and Cody got laid out. And this is where my conflict comes in, because it was a great moment, great things, but WrestleMania should be the culmination of feuds. It should, or if it is a continuation of something, it should not really feel like it. And you could tell this was just setting things up for later on. There had no intention of stopping this at Mania. And I think your main event should feel like a new direction. The wrestling calendar year is not January, it's April to April. It's for whenever, like, Mania to Mania. That is the wrestling calendar. Argue with a wall if you disagree. That's just how it works. And things should be blown off and set anew at Mania. And this was step one. And it was a misstep. It was a fumble step. And it was basically like trying to take the first step on a set of stairs, and you just down. But nevertheless, there's going to be a step 2 after this, and I'm nervous. They're going to book it convoluted again. Now, the difference with that will be that Pat McAfee himself said if Randy Orton fails to win a title, he will never be seen in this business again. I'm calling bullshit on that. I think they're going like swerve, like, I'm just kidding, I can still take the business, blah, blah, Pat McAfee, blah, 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 blah. Something like that. As far as Cody, I know there's pictures coming around that he like not just at work, he might legit be injured because his like eye or something got swollen. That shit look gnarly. And if that's the case, then that kind of leads to my biggest issue. All of that after match stuff could have been done with Randy winning. Randy Orton should have won a title here. All of that after things, taking Cody out, all that stuff, that could have been done still. But Randy Orton walking out with the title. It didn't need Cody to continue to hold the title to justify Randy and kick him in the head. He listened to the voices. He's a son of a bitch. He would have kicked him had Cody sneezed the wrong way. But Randy could have won a title and done that. And Cody, if he's hurt, gone off, cool. He's not worried about the title. He's not convoluting the title scene. But since Cody is still champion, just to sit there and beat Randy, then just have to vacate it, it's an issue that could have been avoided. And I'm not a fan of that. So again, the match itself gets a thumbs up. Everything around the match gets a thumbs down. So I guess I have to go thumbs middle. But night one's 2 thumbs down. It did not feel like a Mania. It felt like an NARPLE. And it did not give high hopes to anyone watching that night 2 would be any better. Again, there's people there that were like, oh, night 1 was so great. It's the greatest thing ever. I'm happy you enjoy. I legitimately am happy you enjoyed the experience you paid for. But that shit sucked watching at home. Okay. And again, not much hope for night 2, but you know what? I am a person that will give anything a chance. Well, mostly anything. I'm not doing meth. So let's see how night 2 did fare. All right, we moved to night 2, and I will start by saying, what a 180. Holy shit, night two was so much better. Night two is what WrestleMania is supposed to feel like. It had the pageantry, it had the great matches, it had the great moments, it had the of a main event. It was, oh my god, night two was it. I don't know if it's the shit stain of night one talking, but night two was, oh my god, you give it to me, yes. And it's, the biggest change between the presentation was they changed the color scheme, which the way they got there was kind of meh. But I'm not. It sounds like nitpicking. I'm not. It's just what they did. But the first match, let's get right into the matches. The first match set the tone for the night when Obafemi beat Brock Lesnar. And I know my biggest complaint, but with night one was the match length. And this one went, according to Wikipedia, 4 minutes and 50 seconds. But this is exactly what 4 minutes and 50 seconds should look like. There's not a damn Brock Lesnar match that should be a 20-minute classic. Brock Lesnar matches should be 10 minutes or less. And this was exactly what it needed to be in 5. Could have got an extra minute? I honestly don't know. Because I thought it went a little bit longer than I was expecting it to be. But Obafemi beat Brock and made his stamp on the wrestling world and the bigger entertainment world that he is next up as far as a beast in WWE. That beatdown of Brock was, oh, it was so good. It was hyped. It got the people going. It was what it needed to be and more. And now Oba, and this match was on ESPN. This match and the next match was on ESPN. So it was on a wider audience, like not ESPN2, ESPN proper. This made Oba in people's eyes. There's people who honestly probably know made those on. They just had ESPN on in the background. Like, yo, who is this dog? Oh, hey, it's Brock Lesnar. I know the guy. Oh my goodness, he picked up Brock Lesnar easily and slammed him down. Oh, he beat Brock Lesnar so quickly. Oh, yeah, that's how you make somebody in fans' eyes. You have them whoop Brock Lesnar's ass. Oba did that. Crowd got hyped. But after the match is one of the key talking points about this, where seemingly Brock Lesnar retired. If you're not aware, in pro wrestling, if you're going to retire your last match, you go out losing, and then you leave your boots in the ring. I think MMA is gloves. So Brock Lesnar did both. He left his gloves, he left his boots in the ring. Hugged Heyman, was crying and said thank you to the fans. Brock Lesnar's never said thank you to the fans. So if this was Brock Lesnar's last match, then congrats Brock on the most dominant career in the history of combat sports. Not just WWE. You know, call it predetermined, call it the F word, all you want to. But he was pretty good in UFC. There's no one that makes that crossover successfully as good as he did. Ronda Rousey. Now, we ain't talking about Ronda Rousey. But if this is it for Brock, then Brock is a person to where if you want to celebrate him, you kind of have to split the man from the art, especially with Brock's name being mentioned in the Vince trial, all that kind of horrible stuff Vince did. Brock was kind of there. There's a history of Brock not really being one to put someone over in the back, sometimes being difficult to work with. Now, this is all speculation. This all could be lies. The amount of times it's been reported on, there's definitely some credence there. But this is it. There's not a better beast in the pro wrestling business history than Brock Lesnar. He's the greatest power man to ever lace them up, and will go down as arguably one of the greatest of all time. You can't deny that. Now, what he did to any sort of black talent he faced, that's why some people don't like him, and I get it. Oba avenged a lot of people. But if this is it, then he had a great career, and he went out making Oba a damn star. This match gets 2 thumbs up. And again, it went 4 minutes, 50 seconds. It didn't need to go longer. Could you give it another minute? Could you got some more moves in? Sure. But it didn't need it. It did its job. It made it it hyped up night 2. To me, this match alone put damn near night 2 above night 1. and Oba is a star from here. On a post show, he called out Roman Reigns, OTC. Roman responded and said, after in the summer, after summer, come find me. Basically, Roman said to Oba. So if I'm WWE, I keep Oba as an attraction. Maybe not wrestle every week, but on PLEs, have him take out people, build that match. That's your night two SummerSlam main event is Oba Femi and Roman Reigns. You just keep building that, have him there. As far as Brock, there's speculation that Gunther can call him out of retirement, being the favor that Paul Heyman owes Gunther for taking out Seth Rollins. Um, you can do it. It'll be a convoluted way to get there, but you can do it. That's definitely like maybe the night one main event of SummerSlam, since SummerSlam is in US Bank Stadium, I think it's called, where the Vikings play in Minnesota, where Brock's from. But yeah, if this is the last time we saw Brock wrestling, what a way to go. What an absolute way to go. 2 thumbs up, set the tone for a night. And it was just plain awesome. The next match after that basically took the hype that was the 2 thumbs and made it 4 thumbs. I wish I could show it. When Penta retained his IC title in a 6-man ladder match, which featured Penta, Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, Rusev, and Rey Mysterio. This was a car crash in the best possible way. Not like it was disaster to watch, you can't look away. This was like crash, like as a physical harm to bodies. Bodies were hurt, especially JD McDonough might still be dead. And I'm recording this the next morning after. It was spot after spot after spot after spot, and with all like high flyers and the powerhouse like Rusev, that's what it needed to be. This match got 15 minutes, and that's a sweet spot. I don't think it needed more than that. Do you want more than that? Yeah, but I'm a greedy son of a bitch. This got 15 minutes. It was the sweet spot. Everyone got a chance to shine, which is rare, and it's a breath of fresh air given how I said the night one, the Fatal 4 Women's got 8.5 minutes. 9 people got 8.5 minutes. This was 6 people who got 15 minutes, and they did the most with those 15 minutes. Everyone came out there looking better than what they left, and that's rare for multi-man matches. But Penta won. Rey Mysterio got to say F you to Fire Time once again, showed out. Rusev was great as the power in this match, and it was just absolutely amazing. There's not much else to say as far as where they go. Honestly, the way this went, I would not hate having like some combination of these 6 men just like each vying for the IC title over the spring and summer. Keep throwing like multi-man matches, like triple threats, fatal 4-ways, all that stuff. Have all the 6 of these men vie for the IC title throughout the summer, like different combinations, and either let Penta run through them all or have them drop to somebody during the summer and make them. That was just. And now this is my chef's kiss match of the night. Moving on, we have Trick Williams defeating Sami Zayn with the help of Lil Yachty to win the US title. And this match to me was a thumbs up. It's not a super thumbs up. It was given 7 minutes. What they did in the 7 minutes is tell a great story. But I don't know if it counted as a double turn. It should have. Sami Zayn should absolutely just lean into being a heel. I don't know what WWE's apprehension is for it, but he should absolutely be the heel. Trick Williams is a star. He's a face, whether WWE wants to admit it or not. I think they're smart enough to admit it, but he is a face in all this. And yeah, Lil Yachty was, to me, a fantastic celebrity. It's amazing when you get a celebrity that loves his business in and out, but doesn't try to overpower it. He was a very, very well complimentary piece to what this should have been about and what it was about, the ascension of Trick Williams and the, for lack of a better word, betrayal of the fans to Sami Zayn. He's like, I did nothing wrong. And the fans like, nah, we don't like you. We want Trick. Trick is the future. And I think Tonight proved he's like not just the future, he's also the now. And what's amazing about it was brought up in the post show, but I didn't think of it till it was said. The first three matches of night two all featured the three men that are involved in the NXT Stand and Deliver main event last year: Trick, Javon, Oba. And it's amazing, not just like, having representation as black athletes at the top of the world, but to see that, you know, people can come through the NXT system and immediately find success. People can come through and immediately be on the top. And I know, like I said, the representation means a lot for young black men and women to see Oba, Trick, Javon, Mello, Lash, Naya, Naomi, Bianca, Jade, all of that. They're at the top of their game. They're at the top of the card. They're not just superstars that were off to the side that maybe got a look every now and then, but destined to play stereotypical black characters growing up, how it was for me growing up. And I know Willow Nightingale from AEW gave them the flowers, but that's a lot of help from the New Day, which is Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, and Big E. They've shown that you can be black and not play a stereotypical black character and find success. With Kofi and Big E being WWE champions, Xavier Woods King of the Ring, and they all were tag team champions 7-8 times, I think, something like that. But to see this, for lack of a better term, takeover of the top is really cool to see. And I know my wife, who is fully black, appreciates it. I know there's like young ones and kids out there who appreciate it so much that they get to see someone that looks like them stand on top of the mountain that is WWE. That's predominantly a white woman's game. So just want to say that, but that was cool. But yeah, the Trick Williams Sami Zayn match got a thumbs up out of me, and Trick is here. And Lily I, thank you for your service. Sammy, time to be a heel. Where they go from here? You run it back. You throw Mello in there, who's owed a rematch. You throw Ilya in there. And let the four of them just battle for the U.S. title for the next couple months. Don't overcomplicate it. Just make it simple. The Demon Finn Balor defeated Dominic Mysterio in a street fight. I'm gonna give it a thumbs in the middle. Not because anything bad happened, but when you have the Demon fight, it's supposed to be a decisive win, which it hasn't been since he's got on the main roster. When the Demon fought Demon fought for the first Universal title, got injured, fought Roman Reigns, the rope broke, fought Edge, Hell in a Cell, lost. There was a part of me that legitimately thought that Dom was going to win this match, just because for some reason WWE hates the Demon. But no, the Demon Finn Balor won. It should have been more dominant, especially how scared Dominic was. But 10 minutes, nothing offensive. They had a great use of tables and chairs and all that. So where it goes from here, honestly, I don't know. There's no direction for either one of these two after this. Do you throw them in the IC title picture? You could, but there's nothing for either guy right now, and that's what scares me. That they're kind of be like forgotten. I know Dom's got AAA. If I'm Finn, I don't know what you do with this. You hope there's a draft and you get sent over to SmackDown. I don't know. There's no direction after this, but for the match itself, it's a thumbs in the middle. And had Finn lost as a Demon, I would give him the same spiel I gave Bailey. It's like, hey, you got some friends over in AEW. You could do a lot. You would probably be one of the top stars by all in. Just saying. You want to make that change? It's right there. But yeah, thumbs in the middle. Nothing offensive. It's all right. We have Rhea Ripley beating Jade Cargill for a WWE Women's Championship at around 10 minutes. By far, this was Jade's best, not only best match in her defense, but probably her best match on the main roster as far as singles. And it's amazing when you give her a proper partner, what she can do. This match similar to the Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton build. Getting there was, if I say it was, we were limping to the finish, that I would be being nice. This was not a good build. If there was no chemistry in the promo battles between Jade and Rhea, and it was just a mess. It was like, let's just get this over with so we can move on. But no, they surprised me. I was surprised. We had honestly a good match of them trying to outdo each other. Rhea, um, Rhea and Jade Major look great. We had the expected interference of Meechin and BFAB, which was again expected. But Jade pulled out moves, looked like a million bucks. Thumbs up on this one. As far as what's next, they might run it back. I kind of don't want them to. I wouldn't hate. I know Rhea's going to go to SmackDown now that she's the WWE Women's Champion. I wouldn't mind they send Jade over to Raw. Just get some fresh blood in there. Jade Liv will go ham. Just saying. But yeah, thumbs up. Not much to say about this. Shout out to both women showing up and showing out. It was awesome. I will say it was cool having Jade in a prominent spot because, like I was talking about before, representation. I know Bianca. I forgot to mention this. Bianca on night one announced that she was pregnant with child. So congrats to her. Naomi is currently away with pregnancy of another child. Congrats to them. So to have at least one of the big three of Jade, Naomi, Bianca on the main card in a prominent role in a great title match was awesome. And it was just cool to see, as my wife says, black girl magic. And now we have the night two main event, the final match of WrestleMania, in which Roman Reigns beat CM Punk for the World Heavyweight title in a near 34-minute banger. There's so much I can go on about this. This was a great, great match. I was thoroughly sports entertained from top to bottom. This felt like a big fight. This felt like a huge main event. You had like the Roman Reigns special entrance with musicians and singers, all that kind of stuff. Like it was 39 and 40. You had CM Punk get his Ring of Honor theme, which I'm blanking on the name now. He came out honoring those in the WWE family that we've lost recently, which is cool. And from the first note of Roman Reigns' music, this felt special. You could feel it in the air, just picked up in a big way. And the match itself did not disappoint. It was two guys on the top of the card, two people who are used to being alphas, looking to prove who is absolutely the best. And that's what we got. We had fighting in the crowd. We had blood. We had all that kind of stuff, which this was actually, this wasn't an no DQ match, but the ref was like, you want me to tell Roman Reigns, CM Punk they can't do what they want? Nah, y'all have at it. Just, kind of get back in the ring. That's basically who's there. He's there. It's like, guys, get back in the ring, please. Come back, please. Please. They told a story of just basically, I'm going to throw everything I have. You're going to throw everything you have. And we'll see who's left standing. And it was Roman Reigns at the end of the day who was left standing. And I said this before on like a short about the night. This match had a swerve by not having any swerve at all. And what I mean is, this was expected to have maybe the Usos interfere or like a certain final boss to appear. There was like there wasn't so much rumors, but everyone kind of had that feeling, given us the night two main event, or like potential a Pat McAfee interference. And by not having that, it circumvented expectations and just gave us a great, great match. And I was thoroughly, like I said, sports entertained. Where they go from here, I suspect Roman did say on post show he's gonna be on screen more full time. Whatever that means for Roman, because being on screen more for Roman means just being there like twice a month. It's more on screen for Roman than what we got before. But if he's gonna be around more, I would love for him to fight new people. I don't. To me, there's not really a benefit in running this back as a traditional one-on-one. Now, does Roman want to go against Gunther in an interim until when they both wait for their SummerSlam programs? You give me Roman Gunther for a title, I'm not gonna say shit. That's awesome. CM Punk, he might come back, but he might also take some time. He's more than earned it at this point. I can see CM Punk taking like a month off and coming back and doing something else. But yeah, this gets 4 thumbs up. This felt like the end of WrestleMania, like the main event of the whole weekend, as opposed to what that shit was last year. But this was a WrestleMania main event, and I'm gonna rewatch this one. You know what? I might just rewatch night 2. Fuck night 1. I might rewatch night 2 over again if I want to come back and watch WrestleMania 42. But yeah, this match was chef's absolute kiss. All right, and that is the entire card of the WrestleMania weekend. I I'm debating between 2 matches as far as match of the weekend, between the ladder match and the Roman Reigns CM Punk match. I'm gonna go the ladder match simply because there was more in that 15 minutes that was great. Like as far as I guess I don't know, excitement per minute, like excitement per minute, something like that. Over the CM Punk Roman Reigns one. Definitely, if you want to get somebody into wrestling, you show them that ladder match. Um, yeah, to me, that was the match of the weekend for me. My MVP of the weekend. I don't think there's anyone whose stock raised more than Oba Femi this weekend by taking out Brock on ESPN proper. So I'll give it to Oba. I think Oba was the MVP of the weekend. Night 1 and night 2 feel like 2 different PLEs. It was day and night, stark contrast, and not just because of the color scheme. It was night 1 felt like I don't know what night 1 felt like. I don't think night 1 knew what the hell it wanted to be. As far as wrestling, it wanted to be just ads, and it was a drizzling shits, like absolute drizzling shits. And night 2 said, hey, you know what, we hear you, we'll be better, and it was. Even if the matches weren't necessarily super longer, night 2 ended at like 8:30, like 8:30, 8:40 Central Time, and it wasn't as long, but it felt so much better. It felt more important that the tension was raised. Night 2 was WrestleMania. If you sit there and tell me, you know what, I'm only going to recognize night 2 as your WrestleMania 42, I'm right. I might be right there with you. Night 1, if you say it never existed, I can see. I'm not gonna say nothing. That's you. If I semi agree with you, but it's crazy how overall, like the corporate feel of WWE is at a WrestleMania, and just in general. Like I've had issues with WWE feeling corporate for a while now, with the ticket prices and everything being about money. And I know it's a business, it has to be about money, but don't be like just in our face, like ad, buy. Oh, Club WWE? Yeah, you got paid to do that. Ticket prices? Boom. Oh, we're not charging enough for tickets. Who the hell says that in public? Look it up. The fuck? And WWE is it's I would say what the hell are they doing? Like just not caring, not pretending to care about the customer first and just putting a operation first and wrestling second, or like just wanting and giving less when the president of your country kind of gave the blueprint on that. Yeah, your buddy up in the White House kind of gives you a blueprint on how to do that. You know, you do you, and people are still going to pay that ridiculous money. So I can't blame them. They can do whatever the hell they want. People are still going to spend the money. It took over the top effort for this weekend to feel like a WrestleMania. And the sad part is, and I have no expectations on it getting any better next year when they're in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. If you didn't know, WrestleMania next year is in Saudi Arabia. and there's not gonna be, and the Saudi crowd is fine. Uh, that Saudi Arabia crowd, the Royal Rumble's kind of, but usually they're a pretty good crowd. I have no issues about the crowd. I just have issues about the money grab, and it was evident this year when we got wrestling. We got good stuff. All the no, to me there wasn't a bad wrestler out there or bad performer at all. No one stuck up the joint. No one was bad. It's just everything around it sucked, which brought things down. But like I said, night one was a drizzling shits. Night two was like a dream. And that's where we're at with WrestleMania. But that's going to do it for my take on the weekend. Kind of a longer video. I apologize for that. But it was like a big weekend. But let me know in the comments if you made it this far. What did you think overall? Like, did you have the same, one night was better than the other? Were you reversed? Did you like night one more than night two? I would love to hear why. Not saying you're wrong. I kind of want to know your thinking. Who was your MVP? What was your match the weekend? And are you looking forward to anything coming out of this that will carry WWE throughout the summer as we get towards SummerSlam in Minneapolis, Minnesota? Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for watching. As always, go ahead and like and subscribe. Go ahead and follow me at all socials as Heartfelt. Enjoy post WrestleMania, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. All right. I'm out. Peace.